Welcome back. I am John P. Today we are going to be talking about luxury watch NFTs. Yes, NFTs. This is a topic that is so popular right now and increasingly so, right? It goes with the crypto markets and everything that's changing with the metaverse, so on and so forth. So before we jump into that though, because it's also going to take a little bit of an explainer as to what this is and also what this means for the luxury watch industry, I just want to go ahead and show you what's on the wrist today. Of course, I have a very special Gerald Genta Jump Hour watch with a interesting character on it. You can see pictures of this and exactly what it is on my Instagram, The Real John P. I love this watch. I just want to share it with you. So check it out on my Instagram, The Real John P. And also, please do not forget to check out delraywatch.com where we buy, sell, trade watches. Right now, we are going through a bit of a spring sale, and truly we have some watches on there that are just so phenomenally priced. And I know some of you out there would love to take advantage of these watches, including an Omega Speedmaster Snoopy. So check it out, delraywatch.com. So luxury watch NFTs. Bunch of watch brands have started doing projects in this space. Now, for those of you unfamiliar, let's quickly touch on what exactly an NFT is. And we'll talk in broad terms here. We're not going to jump all the way in and get technical about it, but essentially a non-fungible token is a thing. It's digital. It's put on the blockchain. It is something that can represent the authenticity of something else. It's unique, it's verifiable, and the technology behind this on the blockchain guarantees this using different technological processes. NFTs are typically things that would go along the lines of a picture or an audio or something else that could be uniquely owned, right? Think of having a picture on your phone, for example, and you want it to be the person that said, yes, I own this. Well, the technology exists to show that you are, in fact, the owner, and this is authentic and it's verifiable using this other set of technologies. Now, I know I'm really boiling this down to simplistic terms. So for you crypto, I guess they call them crypto punks at this point. For you crypto people out there, please don't roast me too much. We're just trying to really get to the point that matters here, which is, what does this mean for luxury watches and which brands are doing this? Does it matter at all? And how can you benefit as a watch collector? If you do want to know more about crypto and NFTs and the blockchain technology, feel free to type that into YouTube and then come back here and continue the conversation about NFTs in the watch industry all over. Watch Pro, Hodinkee, the blog to watch, you name it, brands are doing this, right? We have Bulgari, Hublot, Jacob & Co., and Panerai are creating either NFTs that are paired to watches or even NFT images of watches. This is happening and people are buying these, right? This is something that's happening and it's really taking the industry by storm. There's even some pre-owned dealers that have announced that they would be creating NFTs to help with the authenticity behind the watches. But I think if we look at some of these brands, right, think of the Bulgari that's mentioned, the Hublot, the Jacob & Co., and the Panerai. In what capacity are they offering these NFTs, right? Particularly with Panerai, you get an NFT of an image that was created for an NFT to be released when you purchase a particular watch, and it's from an interesting artist and you are the owner, and apparently you can resell the NFT on one of the NFT exchanges if you so desire, but there's also a component behind this to verify the authenticity and that you are the true owner of the watch. Now, do I think this really matters, right? Do I think that this is something the watch industry needs to take on? Is it going to be ultra helpful? Are more brands doing this for the authenticity, or is this just for the buzz? Now, let me quote the CEO of IWC, and he did say that the blockchain gives them the ability to have that full experience of the brand and be part of the history. Now, with luxury watches, I get it. History is just part of it, right? Sometimes these brands are hundreds of years old, and it's nice to know that that is the case, and there's a bit of a history, and you kind of get sold into the romance behind it. Now, if you include the blockchain and the NFT, I really don't see how that makes you part of IWC, for example, right? I'm not calling out this particular person because the reality is this happens to be the feeling or the idea behind all the other brands and companies that are offering NFTs is some way to kind of be part of the movement and be part of the brand, when in reality, we're watch collectors, right? Do you want a picture of the watch or do you want the watch, right? Watch collectors get into watch collecting because they want to put a watch on their wrist and wear it for the actual property of it, right? To feel the mechanics. Does a picture of the mechanics suffice? I remember before I had Del Rey watch, I would look at endless pictures of watches, growing up, very young, 18 years old. There just weren't authorized dealers that held the kind of pieces that exist today. I would look at pictures and it wouldn't even be close to when you walked into a store and you put the watch on the wrist. And it's the same when you finally get that watch that you've been desiring, you save up, or you find it, you get it in the mail, you rip open the package, you put the watch on your wrist because it's the physical item of actually having it. Now, does that translate over into the digital world? I'd actually like for your opinions below in the comment section. Many of you out there maybe even prefer NFT versions of watches or NFTs in conjunction with watches. I would love to hear your opinions. Now, I don't think that this, using the blockchain to authenticate watches is a bad thing. I don't think it's practical necessarily, and I think it really needs universal adoption. And let's also consider the fact that there's millions and millions of watches in circulation already existing that are not verified using blockchain. We're talking about mixing technologies, hundreds of years old items in certain cases. Now this new item mixing the digital with the physical world, I think there's a bit of a clash there. And if we look at what brands particularly are coming out with NFTs or NFT or blockchain ways of authenticating the watches, these tend to be brands that maybe have fallen back a little bit in terms of where they were in desirability. Look at the Panerai, look at Jacob & Co. Jacob & Co. has actually become more desirable, but they're also very celebrity driven, very in the moment kind of, look at me type of mentality. Bulgari, Hublot as well, we're talking LVMH, they do these types of things. It gets buzz, it's popular, and that's what's going on with NFTs currently. Now, I'm not saying NFTs aren't gonna be here. I'm not even making a comment on them, but when we talk about watches and watch collecting and the mechanics behind it, oftentimes when I speak with all of you at events and here on YouTube, it truly is about the craftsmanship and the mechanics and having that real thing that's just not ones and zeros, right? It's not digital. Someone had to spend hours truly working away, sometimes in workshops, designing and creating and polishing by hand using real world limitations of real world people. Now, when you have a great watchmaker or a team of watchmakers, right, like we have Hans at Del Rey Watch and so many others out there that exist, though the number of watchmakers are dwindling, authenticating watches can be very easy because certain parts and certain things just take expert craftsmen or very precise machining. They can be identified very easily by the people that are trained to spot this. So sure, the NFTs could maybe somehow prove ownership, but so does a receipt. So does proof of purchase. So does having the watch in your physical possession and knowing that you bought it from an authorized dealer, for example, or you have a warranty card. And so introducing that NFT component to it for authenticity, I think can also be worked around. Hublot in the past has done various things. They had these chip cards, the Wise Key, and other forms. They had a USB card as well, and the authorized dealer would have a USB hub that they would stick it in. It would prove authenticity. All those things got thrown away. When Hublot had to sell watches, obviously that didn't come with it. They gray marketed the watches and sold them at huge discounts, and the watches are out there floating around without those additional trinkets. And of course, that is what also contributed to the fall of Hublot to an extent in their value, is just the amount that they had to sell gray market because they overproduced. But I don't know that the NFT option here is the answer or the end-all be-all for watch authenticity or proof of ownership. I think it adds the extra complexity. It's interesting, it's cool, and I really do hope that it succeeds, because what is wrong about being innovative and doing something new and exciting? I have nothing against that. But I don't know, especially considering that not all the brands have jumped on this bandwagon yet, and it's really the brands that are known for doing certain things for the buzz, I don't know that it's quite there yet. But what do you guys think about NFTs for watches, either the images for particular watches or using blockchain or NFT technology to authenticate or show proof of ownership of watches? I would actually love to see and hear your opinions in the comments below. Please do not forget to check out my Instagram, TheRealJohnP, as well as make sure to check out delraywatch.com, where we buy, sell, and trade watches. And also, guys, once again, this is not me saying that NFT and blockchain does not have any uses. I was into crypto actually in the very early years in 2009, so I certainly see the technological functionality and the uses behind this. I just also happen to really be ingrained in the watch industry, and I'm seeing some friction points here about the long-term sustainability of NFTs in the watch market. Guys, leave that comments below. Thanks, guys. You've been chatting with John P.